Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is the VG Pierce. I'll be coming at you with some Season 5 action from the Cabal Vision Champions Cup playoffs. And we are still going to be covering the first round. And definitely, guys, if you haven't already, please check out my preliminaries, predictions videos, and all of the teams that will tell you how every one of them are shaping up to be, and also who I think will win the match. But kind of a little bit of a spoiler here. I already checked them all off over here on top, so a little bit of a giveaway. But first, we are going to be having our game for tonight. Yes, we are going to be checking out VGP's Batman Dark Elf team taking on Seabattle Seahawks, the High Elf team. Without further ado, let's get on with the match. Yeah, let's do it. So I'm going to start up the replay. No spoilers here as I begin up the match. And yes, this is going to be a much vaunted contest because we've seen JimmyFantastic play a very good player, very solid. But now he's going to be playing an Elfie type team, a Dark Elf. Nonetheless, he is going to be showing how much of a solid play can translate into a very well played Elven offense. I hope. Coached by JimmyFantastic Dark Elf team, VGP is Batman, and we'll be playing off against Coach Cyclops, Seabattle Seahawks, the High Elf team. Whenever you see a elf on elf battle, you're probably going to see a lot of touchdowns, but I don't think we're going to see that today. Given JimmyFantastic solid play, we're probably going to see more of that, but with more, I think, flair, some who knows what. But looks like here, Seabattle Seahawks, he's going to choose to receive, and it is going to be in the rain, so that is going to be a -1 modifier to all catch, intercepts, and pickup rolls. Let's go ahead and switch sides here to the offense. I like putting them on the bottom because that's just how I roll, guys. I'm sorry if that throws you for a little bit of loot, but whatever. Let's go ahead and do this and take a look at the skills for each one of the Dark Elf team player. Yes, he's going to have the Blitzer and also another Blitzer there with the +1 agility, sidestep with the sure hands, and no runner here. He doesn't want it. He doesn't want too many armor value 7 guys on the pitch. But who needs it when you got this guy right there to do the ball carrying? And then another Blitzer with not 1 but 2 +1 in movement, as well as sprint, sure feet, and the blodge. And you better believe it, that's going to be the one-turn touchdown that the Dark Elf team doesn't exactly begin with. And so he's going to take up the reins and do it himself if need be. Witch Elves with the diving tackle, tackle sidestep, and also the blodge ability. And then +1 in strength tackle wrestle for that Witch Elf. And then blodge here for that other Blitzer there. And then another blodge Blitzer here. And then lineman there with wrestle and dodge. And then the 3 linemen up on front. And also going to have 1 extra guy here in the bench. And that's going to be really nice because as we've seen, if you guys haven't seen it already, Dwarven team had played the Bretonian team, and the Bretonian team was able to whittle down the Dwarven team, and nobody come in for the Dwarven team, and eventually the numbers advantage for the Bretonian team really poked out, and they were able to win the game outright. And Dark Elf team going with this extra guy there, I can't blame them. That's actually, I think, a really good move for today's match. And we'll see here the High Elf team. He will have a +1 in agility, man. So rain pickups, we got it here. He's got not 1 but 2 of them with +1 agility, and that's going to be pretty nice here for this High Elf team because he's not afraid of the rain. Neither is JimmyFantastic's guys because of that +1 in agility, man, here, and that's going to be their main ball carrier there as well. So High Elves nor the Dark Elf team not too afraid, although we're probably going to see lots of throws here between the teams here. Probably we should at least, right? High Elves with their vaunted High Elf passer, just so great there in the backfield here with the safe throw, and this one actually has dump off the boot, and also with the blodge ability, man, that is pretty nice. And then he's got another one here with guard and the dodge for that thrower there. So 2 of the High Elf throwers on the pitch ready to go, and then he's got his catcher over here with that sidestep and also the blodge +1 in strength, as well as having that tackle ability. So we got a +1 in strength, but -1 in movement allows to that catcher. And then we have another catcher here with sidestep with the blodge and the catch inherent. And then a couple of extra linemen here. He's got this lineman there with +1 in agility with that strip ball, wrestle, and dodge. So a bit of a cage burner there, and dirty player for that man here. And then I believe that will be it. Nobody come in here for the High Elf team, and let's get underway. And as you see in my predictions video, you know, it's a no-brainer. VGP is Batman. Not only is the team name is spot on, the coach steering the team, and also Dark Elf. I can't help it. It's just all saying Dark Elf win right here, but it won't be without its challenges. High Elf team can score at a drop of a hat, especially with those two very dangerous throwers there. Safe throw and all this other madness to boot with them. High kick for them, and will mean that he's going to be putting the catcher in the backfield to field the ball, and not going to let his throwers go and get it. And there you go, he's going to get it on the catch, so no need for a pickup roll. Not that it mattered too much, but still, if he did intend to take it up with a non-+1 agility man, that would have been a 3+ pickup instead of a 2+ as normal. And now the High Elves are going to start up and hit the front line of the Dark Elf team. No skills for these guys, and looks like the first one is going to get the armor broken. That's pretty big here. High Elf team trying to get some big hits in, trying to whittle down the Dark Elf team as much as possible. But one extra Dark Elf to come in, it might be too much to ask for these armor value breaks to really prove the victory for them. High Elves now, he did get a couple of stuns here up front, and he's going to get the blitz off. Going to be on that wrestle and dodge player here. Does have tackle, but it's just going to be a bolt down dive. Wrestle is going to come into play, and boy, you asked me how good wrestle is. I tell you, it's a good one, because that will help you in not only avoiding those bolt down dives by the offensive side of the things here, but on the defensive side of things, you can use that wrestle, and normally the ball carriers will have a block ability, and you'll be able to use the wrestle to help take that ball out of the hands. And that is definitely going to be useful for the Dark Elf team. In fact, I really feel like this is a very well-rounded team. You got somebody with a huge offensive threat with a +2 in movement allowance with that sprint here with that blitzer. And then you got big hitters like Switch Elf, probably just maybe missing Mighty Blow at this point, but she's got diving tackle, so a big threat to any really quick teams like Skaven, or even those Lizard Man team with those skinks. And also going to have a wrestle and dodge personnel to boot. So he's got some pretty good weapons, +1 in strength, and then wrestle with tackle. So she can definitely get that ball out and can be a bit of a danger to the ball carrier. You never know. And with that inherent dodge ability, she can really get that ball out. I'll tell you that much. Normally I like to get to Witch Elves with maybe strip ball eventually. Kind of dress them up as war dancers, maybe without the leap, but perhaps if they do get a +1 agility, then get the leap. But definitely, I like making my Witch Elves more of the hitters of the Dark Elf team, and then the Blitzers kind of give the support. They do the ball carrying and then the catching ability for them as well. Well, I don't get the catch ability, but I mean, I just make sure that they are well prepared to make the pitch and catches for themselves. They end up being the main ball carriers, basically. But I do like going with the runner, and I like getting accurate leader, stuff like that for them. The High Elves now in the driver's seat, and it's going to be a movement up the pitch. Let's see if the High Elf team is going to score first here. If he does, then that will mean the Dark Elf team might be able to score it pretty quickly himself. But given JimmyFantastic's personality here, he may not score too early here. And so if the High Elves do score it in, say, the next couple of turns, then Dark Elf team does have the capacity to grind it out on you. We have seen it very well, and that's always going to be in the back of the mind of the High Elf player here. Cyclops really needs to watch out, and here we go, big hit. Injury is going to be caused on the thrower with guard and dodge, and he's going to use the apothecary on him. And so inducements, as you can see, not too much on either side, and I do believe it's because the High Elves, I believe, had let go of a guy or two and dropped his team value a little bit. No, actually, I think the Dark Elf team may have dropped a guy or two, but I'm not exactly sure how it all transpired, but definitely it's the T value is a little bit more close, and therefore probably no wizard, but I'm not exactly sure what else he got, unless he went and got 3 Bloodwiser bibs or something crazy like that, but I don't think so at this point. I kind of wish that you could see the inducements. I really do, because at this point it's just kind of a guessing game without it being extremely noticeable there, like the bribes and wandering apothecaries and even the wizard. High Elves looking like they're going to be content in holding the ball at this point and not threatening too much on the offensive side of things for the time being. He's going to be just making his way to the right side, and then after that going back to the center. No big particular hurry, so High Elves kind of showing their hand a little bit, saying, hey, I'm okay. I don't want to press the ball up too soon, and I'm just going to hang back for the time being. As you see, the Dark Elf team, he's ready with his 4 guys back here, pretty much playing some safety here for all of his guys. Going to be dodging out 3+, 2+, and we'll be able to get those rolls. A little bit of Elf PS there, and still some conservative play. Can't blame him for that. Again, I mean, the thing about it is that if you're playing against a coach that can be really solid and can really grind it out on you, you kind of have to be wary. You just can't score too soon. But that will mean that Dark Elves will have chances to probably get some hits off. And if he stays base to base with the High Elf team, then he'll be able to get the hits in. Dark Elves love to bash just as anyone else. And honestly, when you look at the High Elf team and the Dark Elf team, they're pretty well matched. I think the only biggest difference between the two is that the High Elves, they can get these catchers here with the 8 movement allowance, and they are a very quick scoring threat, and they have a real viable passing game going for them, whereas the Dark Elf team, well, they just get runners, and they're more of a running team. They're not really known for the passing. But I mean, when you look at just the skills here, the 4 blitzers will kind of outweigh the 2 blitzers of the High Elf team. So I think the High Elf team is playing it safe for now and just kind of holding the ball, and I don't blame him here, but I almost feel like he should probably go out with the flies down the field with his catchers and threaten the ball at any moment to score it real quickly if given the opportunity. And they're playing an Elf team with the 4 agility, so if any mishaps happen for the Dark Elf team, and I've seen it plenty of time firsthand, then at least maybe the High Elves can be able to get to the ball, turn it around very quickly, and score it himself. But at this moment, again, the High Elves are going to be obliged to play a little bit more solid, going to play a little bit more careful for the time being. +1 in agility, man. Going to get the hit down, and finally going to get him down after a couple of hits there. And we'll be able to, so the ball is going to be fairly safe in the corner. And it looks like Dark Elves are just going to be playing some midfield defense for the time being, allowing these turns to go down. Not too much of in a hurry himself, just wants to get his guys in the best position as possible. Having 2 guys here to the left side, and also keeping that high scoring threat under wraps. And there we go, he's going to miss that dodge out, and no rerolls here for him. He's going to be content and letting that one go, and they're still going to be holding on to 2 rerolls. So the High Elves are going to see what the Dark Elf team wants to do. At this point, Dark Elves are actually sort of pushing them back at this moment. Here comes the wrestle there, and that's the nice thing again. And even if you don't get them down, then at least you'll be able to get them down. And the High Elves, for the High Elves, that's not a big deal. But then when you think about teams like the Dwarves or the Chaos Dwarves here that have guys that are a little bit slower in movement, who do have block, well, you wrestle them down, that they won't have much movement, and that will mean that you may be able to outposition them a little bit more easier. Nice here, big hit, another armor value break. Dark Elves, so far so good. He's gotten 1 injury off, and the Apothecary was used, and the Apothecary did save the High Elf thrower, but for now, looking a little bit more of the way the Dark Elf team defense is looking pretty strong as well. And look at that, he's going to go and square away this catcher so that any dodges out, it's going to have to be a 3+, 2+. And look at that, Jimmy is squeezing every little bit, even with this Dark Elf team. I'm telling you right here, it's just, what are you going to do? Look, the high elf team is just kind of turning around at this point. They're just going backwards. At one point, they were kind of back to the 8-yard line at this juncture, but then he's since had to get back to the midfield, and now he's back to his own field at this point. So that's just how constricting this Dark Elf defense is being at the moment. Just not letting the High Elf team get in too much. And because of that, the High Elves, they want to get in there. They want to try to get some bashes on, but is not really getting too much out of the position at the moment. Dirty Player hasn't been used as of yet, but I think at this point, no need for it. Still, turn 5, Dark Elves. Boy, I mean, the High Elves just look so much more in disarray, and it feels like the Dark Elves are almost dictating how the High Elves should act and move. At this point, that's just how much that this Dark Elf team is kind of tying them up a little bit. It just feels like, you know, the High Elves from 5 feet away just kind of throwing his pieces onto the board, whereas the Dark Elves is just a fluid motion. Alright, I'm going to move my guys here, and he's going to get the 2 dive there, and then I'm going to keep my Witch Elf there, and probably going to blitz him, not blitz, but hit him a little bit later on and try to take him down. So it just seems like the Dark Elf team has a little bit more sense out of the situation. Nice little jump up. That's the nice thing about the Witch Elves here. Jump up, and it looks like he was gonna go in there and get the 2-dive block here on the ball carry. Gonna risk it, and boy, and gonna pay for it. Just gonna be a KO, but still, Witch Elf is gonna be down, and that's the +1 strength even. So there goes the big ball hawk for the Dark Elf team. Actually gonna put it out on the line there, and look at that. Jimmy is showing that he too knows how to play some very interesting plays himself, and not afraid to go for it. And that's the thing. That is right there what separates good coaches and bad coaches. The moment in which you know when to risk. And right there, sure, KO happened, but the riches, the rewards for it. I mean, he probably could have gotten that ball out, and then he more than likely could have turned it the other way, and it would have been very difficult for the High Elf team to come back, I think. But unfortunately, didn't work out. High Elves can breathe a bit of a sigh of relief. Does give up some positioning here to the High Elves, and now it looks like the High Elves are going to score, but it's still their possession half. Not a big deal if it does. And since the High Elves are playing as soft as he is at the moment, he is probably not going to try to score it until turn 8. High Elves using up every bit of time at this point, and he's going to cover up that ball carry just in time. But will it be enough? Looks like he's got maybe a soft spot right here with his thrower, and might be able to take him down, and then might see a blitz here on the bottom right, but it's kind of held up pretty well, so I don't think so. At this point, Dark Elves probably know that he's not going to go for the touchdown anytime soon. Let's put up a nice defensive wall and then make some riskier maneuvers. Witch Elf's going to come here. Yeah, he's going to go and get that surf here. Won't miss a beat. Look at that. And here we go. Defender stumbles, and I believe he's not going to take the dodge, but oh, look at that. Probably should have taken the dodge because of a big injury. -1 in strength even. And that is pretty much a firing here. Oh boy, that's a big injury even. Wrestle with dodge, High Elf, and that was basically the guy that was holding up everything here on this right side. And as you can see, the positioning for the High Elf team is very shallow on the right side. And the Dark Elf team is kind of poking holes through everything at this point, and now it's going to be a little bit more difficult. Where's the High Elf team going to go? Looks like he does have a 2-dive block here, so he should be able to free this man there. He's got +1 in agility as well, so doesn't even need to push him away. This is going to be a 2+ pass to a 2+ catch if he wants it right here. 2-dive block, going to get double defender down. No need for any of that shenanigans there. So we might see this catcher maybe just dodge away real quick, hand it off, and the other lineman here move away, and then maybe even hand it off to throw it to this guy, and then he moves it all the way to the back left. So we'll see if that's going to be the thing, but it looks like no, he's going to use his man here with the +1 in agility to get the extra 2-dive block going to get the assist, and going to move the catcher just to the front field. wow, look at that. And he's going to go and blitz here. And is he looking to move away after this blitz? Probably just want to... No, he's going to step through. So I'm not exactly sure what's going on here, but he's going to try to dodge out. And that is a big one right there. Oh, but what was the high elf team thinking? I'm not sure. But that does see the Dark Elves everything at this point. That man is easily blitzed. And look at this. Actually, after the blitz here... Oh boy, I have to take a little bit of a closer look here. After the blitz, he steps through, and then he tries to dodge out, 3+ dodge, and he failed it, re-roll, and didn't get it. So, got 1 and 9 there, but still, it was 3+, 2+, and what was he looking to do? Probably score it afterwards? Oh man, I think a little bit of a miss there. Probably should have, oh, go for it, roll fail there, and then probably a big miss there, because like I said before, he probably could have handed it off to this other guy and then sat down over here at the back left. Ooh, gonna get that big hit after the blitz. And it's gonna be an MNG on that catcher. So the High Elves are gonna be the ones suffering loads of injuries here on this offensive possession. And the ball does come out. And at least the ball is going to be at a nice spot. It's going to be a little bit difficult for this Dark Elf team to pick this up. Don't forget it's raining, so it's -1 to pick up. And 2 tackle zones. He's going to get it anyway. It doesn't matter. He's going to dodge away. He's going to move down to the right. LBS at its greatest right here. Going to be a 2+ pass. It's, well, actually a 3+ catch. Yes, 2+ pass into a 3+ catch. He gets it. And he's going to move down the pitch, split sprint, and he is getting on out of there. JimmyFantastic turns it around just like that. Dark Elves, so strong. And look at that. The High Elves just don't know what hit them. After going for a risky 3+, 2+. Oh boy, you know, at the end of the game, I'm going to have to look at that because am I missing something? Why didn't the High Elves just hand it off, or at least throw it to this guy right there, to hand it off to this other guy to this back left, and then he would have been to the top left, and there would have been no way that the Dark Elf would have been able to catch him in time. No way, absolutely. And there we go. Blitzer's going to pay for it. Good to get the KO, but he'll gladly take it because that was a superb pickup and a pass even. So the pickup was a 4+, got a 6 on it. Actually, they got the reroll on it because he does have the sure hands pickup. So pretty nice stuff here. Again, JimmyFantastic showing that he knows how to play some Elven ball there. Not afraid to do it, and he does. High Elves trying to play solid, and unfortunately going to be failing. There's another big KO, boy, and High Elves, 2 injuries and a KO, and the High Elves does not have somebody to come in anymore. So High Elves are going to be down 2 for the rest of the match, and with the numbers advantage for the Dark Elf team, even if he doesn't get both of his guys back, he'll still have it because he does have the extra lineman for the Dark Elves. And you might think, oh, it's just a lineman, but it's still a lineman with 4 agility. They are pretty strong themselves. Here comes the blitz here. It's going to get the 3 die. Going to get the defender stumbles, and no tackle on him. So he's going to get that push off, and we should see the touchdown come thereafter. Looks like a little bit of greed's coming up, though. If we get a 3 die block, then it's not too bad, but looks like it should be a 2 die block coming in. I've seen this go wrong so many times. But with a reroll, only a 1 in 1296 chance of anything terrible happening. And looks like we are going to see a 1-0 lead for the Dark Elf team. I am Batman. JimmyFantastic going to go up 1-0. And it's going to be the Dark Elf team's possession half coming up. And as we all know, again, JimmyFantastic has the sure hands himself. It can definitely play, grind them down, whip you up football. And the High Elf team has much to be worried about. He needs to play aggressive at this point. He needs something to happen. Otherwise, it could be all too late. Looks like it's still going to continue raining. And we're going to switch sides here to the Dark Elf offensive series. We'll see if there's going to be a change of weather, but it doesn't look like it. KO personnel continues to stay out for the High Elf team, so he's going to be down 3. And the Dark Elves got back everybody here. Oh boy, that is big. 3+ even. Yeah, yes, the High Elves does have a blow wiser babe, so That's going to be the thing, but the Dark Elves did not have a Blow Eyes of Babe, and he rolled a 5 and a 6, so ouch! That's too bad there. Dark Elves are going to be playing 11 on 8 at this point, and you asked me to play 11 on 8 against anybody, and I'll say yes please, and I'll take a stake with that. High Elves going to kick off, and with just 8 on 11, at least he gets a reroll, but at this point it should be Dark Elf touchdown all the way. The question is, does the Dark Elf team want to just score it right away? He does have the numbers advantage, and so if he does score it pretty quickly, it should be okay. High Elves are going to be struggling a little bit to play some offense. It may take the remainder of the turns to even do so, but with a very dangerous thrower and catchers, Dark Elf team probably doesn't want to play it like that at all. I don't blame him either. I would probably just cage up myself and hold it all the way up to the end of the days, and then make the High Elves prove it. Make them jump in and try to get the ball out. He does have a guy with strip ball. So as you can see there, Dark Elves are going to make his way and get the blitz off on him straight away. KO, and that's a big one here. The strip ball, wrestle, +1 in agility. Oh, he is gone, and with that, only going to have perhaps one more guy to jump in there, but he's only got tackle, no strip ball. Oh boy, and things are looking that much more and more bleak for the High Elves. He's down yet another person. It is 11 on 7, so the High Elves need to produce something. Dark Elves are going to be laying out the line here in the midfield. Doesn't want the High Elf team to cross over and get to the backfield too easily. But after the big blitz, should be able to get a couple of guys maybe in the backfield. He's going to threaten a little bit here. And the High Elves are going to try to play some defense. But at this point, armor value breaks too good for the Dark Elf team. I'm going to put the +1 agility man behind the thrower. Doesn't need his thrower anymore. He needs to get some defense. He's going to dodge away. The nice thing about this High Elf team, I'll tell you what, I think he's got dodge for everybody, but at this point, dodge isn't going to necessarily help you when you need to get the ball. I guess maybe to get to the backfield and maybe dodge through a couple of tackle zones, but I mean, it's just, he needs things like more wrestle, I think. But it looks like Dark Elves gonna have an easy time at it. Oh man, and I really feel like at the end of the first half, I think may have been a miss by the High Elf team. We're gonna have to again take a look at it just to be sure. I don't want to say it was a blunder yet, but I think that right there was the big turning point for the High Elf team. Had it was in the driver's seat almost all the way. Dark Elves were the one that risked, but the High Elves were the ones that I think kind of misplayed it there at the end. Dark Elves are going to take up residence in the midfield, and it's still raining, and just going to be staying back for the time being. High Elves not going to be able to put too much pressure. Did get his man stunned back here, and so at this point, High Elves are just going to play a little bit conservative. Not going to be moving in, and ooh, I'm Batman, and he is going to be dead, but that's just going to be a level 1-0 SPP lineman, and so he is gone out of there, and that will be great for the High Elf team. That will square up the numbers a little bit better, but it's 10 on 7 at this point, so you better believe that the Dark Elves still has a huge shot to win it. Oh man, big breaks here. Hey, what's going on, POTUS? Oh man, Dark Elves versus High Elves, and JimmyFantastic is looking, I'd say, pretty good. Here comes the foul there on a very dangerous player, and he will get the foul off, and straight away he's going to get sent off for it, and no armor value break, and so wanting to get down a very dangerous catcher and isn't going to be able to do so. That's going to be extremely unfortunate. Had all kinds of assists on that foul, but armor value break was just terribleness. Look at that. Armor was a 4+ volt snake eyes on that. Yeah, dark versus light. And now the high elves they're like, oh, you know what? I'm down 1-0. I better get in there and maybe blitz some guys. And so here we go, thrower. He's going to go back there now and going to get his catcher back up, but still in dangerous positioning. Dark elves, he has his way with his high elf team at this point. Gonna move in there, and I have to say, when that's why I tell a lot of beginner players, play bashy teams. Just get used to getting cages up, get used to playing solid, get used to playing that grind them down offense and defense, because once you get that down pat, then you can play elves, then you can play Skaven, and then when it comes down to it, you have the fundamentals and you're able to just do these types of things. Dark elves and even just elves in general, they have the capacity, they have the offense to turn things around at a drop of a hat, but at the same time you still need to learn how to hold it. You need to have that patient Blood Bowl within you, and once you got that down, then the wins will just come a lot easier. A whole lot easier. There's a hit there. Not going to be too afraid of the sidelines because both of these guys would sidestep, and nobody for the high elf team, I believe, has grab or anything like that. So these sidesteppers are going to be okay for the dark elves, and that's another thing here. Dark elves and even just elves in general, they need sidestep because then they won't need to worry too much about frenzies, surfs out of there, or anything like that. They can put their guys up, play positional offense or even defense, get their sidesteppers on the sideline, and then not worry about them too much because they will be alright. They won't get surfed out unless they have a huge oversight. Here comes the foul himself on the Witch Elf, and it is a big one. Witch Elf with that +1 strength, and will be called out for the foul, and just going to be a stun there. So more fouls, and that also wasn't worth it at all. Both Dark Elves and the High Elves going to be suffering a little bit of a loss, but I'm not sure why the High Elves went for it right there, because the High Elves were down tremendously in numbers, and with that foul being called, it just makes the Dark Elf time a lot easier. Before it was what? It was becoming 9-on-7, and that's a little bit more doable, but then now it's become 9-on-6. So, I mean, what is going on here? Dark Elves are just almost getting handed here the victory. And right now, the High Elves look like, okay, we got the defense. But truthfully, the Dark Elves, all they need to do is turn it up the juice. And he's got the pass downfield. He should be able to get the touchdown real easy. And this is what I like here about the Dark Elf team's offense as well. Look, he's got his best offensive threat in scoring position. At any moment, he can get down there and get the big win. But at this point, just going to hold back on the whip and going to crack it whenever he's going to be ready for it. Oh yeah, Putters, you play bash teams and you still suck. Nah, man, I've seen you play. You're not too bad. You're not too bad. Just a little bit more play, and you're gonna be a top-notch player. There goes another foul there, and I'm Bad Girl is finally gonna get the big injury, and no foul out's gonna be called. So wow, bit of a risk there again, but that was worth it right there, all in its own, and so that will help out. And that's going to be a very dangerous Witch Elf as well with the +1 in strength. So doesn't need to worry about her. But I believe at this point, again, High Elves can get scored on pretty easily. Especially with this man here on this right side. This is the guy they really need to hit and foul, because this guy always gives them a chance to get that touchdown. Look, he's in midfield and he's in scoring range. It's sick. Dark Elves now. Gonna get that jump up and gonna get the blitz off. I thought he was gonna maybe blitz for this guy, but looks like he's gonna bring the Witch Elf over. Gonna get that re-roll. And as I said before, if you can play solid, you should. And it looks like instead of trying to blitz with this guy, knowing 1 in 36 can happen, then he's gonna hold back the blitzer, form up the cage first, and then blitz with the Witch Elf. That if he does fail it, then it'll be okay-ish. And there you go, catcher or I should say the blitzer, moves down to pitch for the Dark Elf team, and look at that. I mean, High Elves can't even catch up to him. He's just so far away at this point. Here comes the crazy cage dive, because now the Dark Elf team should be scoring it fairly soon, and it is going to be a bit desperation time at this point. And unfortunately, doesn't get the dodge in with the 5+. And that's about a 50% chance to make it with that reroll, and doesn't get it. That's a bit unfortunate, and the Dark Elf team should be able to get down the rest of the High Elves. KO is going to help out even further, and that will reduce the amount of counterplay that the High Elves team will have. Dark Elves are going to walk up the pitch, goose stepping, high stepping it all the way in, and was there any doubt at all? VGP is Batman. Hey, I don't know who this Bruce Wayne guy is, but I hear he's this very sexy man. Oh gosh. Dark Elves should be able to take this W, barring some type of crazy mishap, and all too easy, says JimmyFantastic. Look at that. High Elves. I mean, again, we're going to go back to that turn 6-7, and we're going to see if the High Elves really... I mean, why didn't he make that play, right, that I had suggested earlier? I mean, I just don't understand. I just don't understand why he didn't just give the little handoff, get the little pass off, and then after that, just head to the back left of the Dark Elf end zone, or at least the field, and then it will take forever and a half to get over there. Perhaps, maybe it was the +2 in movement. He can definitely make it from left to right, I think, no problem, right? So maybe it's because this guy is up, but at the same time, I think it wouldn't have been that bad. We'll see though. Witch Elf's gonna get the handoff, and I guess she's close to a level, and she's gonna go and get the handoff and get the touchdown. So she probably leveled up right there. And I'm Batgirl, and she's gonna get the thumbs down. But thumbs up, 2-0, and barring a miracle at this point, a whole bunch of riots on the kickoffs. I don't see that happening anytime soon. We'll see though. We'll wait and see though. JimmyFantastic did suffer a couple of injuries there. Only one big permanent one, but just a lineman, not a big deal. And then the Witch Elf, even though it was a foul, it was not a long-term effect, and so that's not too bad. Definitely going to be one in which JimmyFantastic can definitely live with in the long run. So he's going to go on. High Elves needs a riot. He can score it in one turn, but he scores it, and then it's 2-1, right? I mean, that doesn't do anything. So we'll see. We'll see. Needs a riot to maybe help prolong it. Oh, and it's gonna be a blitz for the Dark Elves, and that is it. Oh man, how huge! And look at that, he's gonna go make circles around the backfield, because what's the point? He's not gonna ruin his defense just so he can get a blitz off somewhere, somehow, somewhere. Making ring around the rosies. The Dark Elves should be able to get the win here. No more turns left, and with that, High Elves are probably going to get some hits off, probably going to get a foul at the end to boot, and that will end it. So, first round victory. There you go. Ooh, big injury. Uh-oh. He does have the apothecary still. No long-term effects, so that's okay. Gonna let that one go. Here comes another big hit. 3-die block. Gonna be both down die. Should be able to get yet another lineman down. He's gonna break the armor as well. Gonna get the stun. Ball pick up. And should be able to get a little pitch and catch to somebody. And we'll see if we'll do a last turn foul, but I don't know. And he's gonna get another guy in there. Yep, he's gonna do it. He's gonna do it, guys. The foul. And just gonna produce a KO, but that's just gonna be a level 1 lineman anyway, so not a big deal for him. Gonna get sent off to boot. Goblin's got the glasses on this time around, and GG's all around. VGP is Batman. That's right, guys. Witch Elf's gonna get another MVP here, and so as you can see from the statistics, 32 blocks to 39. High Elves actually did get a few more blocks in, but the armor value breaks about even. 3 injuries though. That right there is the biggest one. And that pretty much all happened from the first to beginning of the second half even. And let's go ahead and get back to that round 6-7 real quick, guys. And we're gonna see maybe if the High Elves had a better chance at this. I don't know, but I just have to question at that moment. That was basically the turning point for the game right there. Let's go ahead and look into it. Okay, so we're gonna go back there. High Elves in the driver's seat after the Dark Elves tried to dodge around the right side and get to the backfield and paid for it with the KO. Right here. Look at that. Just went for it. I like that play. I really do. It just shows a lot of character right there from JimmyFantastic. There we go. Let's go ahead and move in there. And we're coming up close to that position that I was talking about. High Elves gonna move in there. 3+, 2+ right there just to get a little bit better positioning here to seal off the back right side. And he does. Bit of a risk here. More 3+ dodges. And it does get it. I mean, only gonna be a 1 in 9 chance of failing. It does seal off over the top there. And unfortunately did put him in a little bit of a bad position here because don't forget Witch Elves, and that's the thing about it, right? Witch Elves, people kind of forget about that jump up, and she does have that full range of movement if she as long as she doesn't fail the jump up roll. There you go, Dark Elves. As you can see, guys, top tier players make the moves first, then you do the riskier plays. 2-die block coming up. This isn't very risky at all, but it's going to be defender stumbles. Going to forego the dodge right there. And does get the injury, unfortunately, for the High Elf team. But beautiful for the Dark Elf team, guys. There we go. Gonna move in there. More assists here for 2-die blocks coming up. Just going to get a push. And since he's got loads of rerolls, might as well use the reroll right there. And so normally he probably would have accepted that, but I think at this point he was like, might as well just go ahead and use it. And get another 2-die block coming up. More pushes on the dice. And that's it. So as you can see here, this is the position I'm kind of talking about at this point. So as you can see here, this is the High Elves right here. And the Dark Elf team kind of abandons them a little bit. But as you can see here, this catcher, he is, I believe he's out of position. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then 9, 10. So he can't even make the touchdown. And then this guy here, he's a lineman. So he's got 6 movement allowance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So he would also be short himself. As you see there, the +2 in movement allowance with sprint. He's way back here to the back right. And so he would have to make a whole bunch of dodges to get through to the backside. And with this guy going to be going down, he should be able to seal off the easy route towards the back left of the field here. But I mean, he's got this catcher right there, right? He's got this hit. He could have easily dodged away and then get the handoff. And then after that, this lineman here, he can just make the pass over there. Sure, the catch is going to be a 3+, but he's got catch ability. So only a 1 in 9 chance of failing. And then after that, the catcher should be able to move up. So I mean, I just don't see. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Both of these guys are linemen right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, you post them up way back here to the back left, and nobody can touch you. Look at that. Yes, I mean, nobody can touch you. Linemen are all out of position, and I mean, the only person that might be able to catch you is way back here to the back right, out of position. So High Elves, look, he's got it. I mean, hell, forget about this guy moving. Oh. I just like this handoff, and then a little easy pitch and catch, and hell, he could just throw it from there, and that still would be a 3+ pass, I think. Actually, it's a 2+, right? Because he has the +1 agility. I think it's a medium. I think it's a bit of a long throw. No, I think it would have been a 3, at the most a 3+, but I think it was a 2+ pass from there. Yeah, I think it was a 2+ pass from there with the +1 agility. And so I just think right there was the big mistake there. And then he tried the crazy just dodge on through. I can see where he's going with that, but even better was the handoff pass and then move along to the left side. 1 and 9s almost all of the way. Oh gosh. And with that, guys, that's it. That's it for me. Let's go ahead and take a look at the brackets again. As we see, loads of games still yet to be played. VGP is Batman. He's going to get the 2-0 win. And we'll keep my predictions alive. I got 2 correct here, guys. And the VGP knows things. That's right. He's going to play against the winner, though, between Chaos and the Orc team. So the Elven team here, Dark Elves, are going to have to face against one of these bashier guys. Definitely going to be a bash fest. We'll see what the Dark Elf team will have in store. So thanks for joining me. POTUS, thanks for coming by, my man. Always great seeing you here. And if you guys haven't already out there watching after the fact, hey, hit that subscribe button. Don't you go away. Like my videos. And hopefully, I'll see you guys next time. Again, over this weekend, I'll be going on holiday, so I won't be able to get any more games this weekend, but I will make up for it in the beginning of the week. I'm going to get a couple of more games out, and then after that, cover the quarterfinals matches. So that will be it for me. You're welcome, POTUS. You're welcome. You guys take it easy out there.